So we are back to our the seventh game, coming from the sixth game here for the 2018 Spring Term LVL. My name is Vulcan, with me is Chisto, your shotcasters entering the seventh game.
Yeah, we just concluded UP Diliman Oblation Esports versus iAcademy Game Changers, where UPD were able to get on top of iAcademy Game Changers. But yeah, they were able to bounce back even though they dropped their first game of the day. Hopefully for iAcademy, they can follow the trend that most teams have been following throughout the day. Drop first game, win next match. I think only FIT have won both their games for today, so maybe iAcademy can continue to follow that trend and hopefully end the day on an even note at least.
I mean, we'll see, Chisto. It's because of the fact that when you're talking about the opening week, the new patch has just been released. Not much adjustment was given to these teams, and we did notice one of the marksmen that did stood out was the Kaisa.
Yeah, and I think at this point today, teams that are playing on the red side need to realize that Kaisa's actually super strong. So if we're not first pick, we just need to ban this champion out unless meron kaming nakahandang counter. And for this game, iAcademy, they will be playing on the blue side. Whereas we kept talking about this for today, Bulacan State University will finally make their LVL debut and they are playing on the red side, which I think just forces them to ban Kaisa, which is still undefeated for today.
And note to the fact that when it comes to the patch, especially the fact that Chisto pointed out for the picks, yeah, we did see moments where teams did ban out the Kaisa. Was more of a favorable matchup for them, but in the end, it was due to the fact because of other elements such as the roster swap-ins and changes throughout the second term. But we can all agree that after the Kaisa performance of PUP using the champion, not just that other teams picking that up, it's safe to say that Kaisa right now for the first day is undefeated.
Yeah, and moving into this next match, like we mentioned, iAcademy versus Bulacan State University, who is making their LVL debut. During our prep for this cast, we were talking about what we expected from Bulacan State University, and I think Arctic told us that since this roster has stayed intact for such a long time now, I think synergy shouldn't be an issue for Bulacan State University.
And we need to know how they will debut their first week. I'm pretty much excited to see how Bulacan State University goes to X can try and mount a victory perhaps to start the week up of the LVL. But we have to note that other teams, the returning teams, are still struggling going into our first week.
Yeah, and speaking of struggling, hopefully iAcademy can brush aside that the previous game that they had versus UPD, and maybe for the next match they have a clear strategy and can bring that against Bulacan State University.
And we'll see that once we load up to the drafting phase first, then to the Rift. But for now, this is going to be Bulacan State University versus, I would say, their first match, their first adversary.
Yeah, and let's talk more about Bulacan State University as they are the new team. I mean, Arctic's pretty happy that BULSU got into the LVL because he does hail from Bulacan, so he's pretty happy. He's a bit biased towards their side, but I guess that's acceptable. It is his home team. But yeah, moving on about BULSU. In their LCL run, they were the North Conference champions, so they do have that experience, and hopefully they can bring that into the LVL.
Earlier today, Chisto, we did discuss about the new teams, how they can be the ones to try and challenge UST in the defending champion title. So maybe BULSU will be one of the teams, not to mention Verdes Arcus and Penguin Authority coming into the LVL. But we'll see how BULSU will debut their first week with their first match. The game itself after the UPD match, it will be iAcademy versus BULSU, followed up by coming up next would be BULSU versus MCL. We did say that for MCL, they'll have 3 games today.
Yeah, of course, we get to see them in action once again for the last game of the day. Maybe MCL can end the day on a 2-1, on a high note really. But yeah, moving back to, I think, what iAcademy has to do if they want to come out on top against Bulacan State University. One thing that Arctic and I touched on during that first match, I think iAcademy needs to play with a bit more aggression. Feeling ko masyado silang passive in that game versus UPD, trying to think too much about the macro sense of the game, but UPD just out-rotated them and they were able to set up more. So iAcademy, I think I want to see a bit more aggression from them, try and just pick up kills and then translate those into more leads for their team.
I think it will be more than enough for iAcademy to adjust in a short period. We do see teams quickly adjusting to their mistakes. I think that was evident for MCL for the first match. They did end with a 0-1, but now after the second match, they did pick up a win. Let's see, later today will be BULSU versus MCL. I'm pretty curious how MCL will end their first game.
Yeah, and alam mo yung interesting na nangyayari ngayon, Vulcan, is parang may warm-up period yung mga team. It takes them at least one game to get rolling before makapag-adjust sila kasi we are coming back from quite a long break. These teams, of course, some of the players might not be that used to playing on stream once again. So yeah, hopefully for this game, iAcademy have adjusted themselves and can bounce back against BULSU.
And we'll see it once we decide how BULSU will be the ones to try and dictate the flow of the game, because as far as I can see for iAcademy Game Changers, the teams that I think Arctic did point out was Import from IAC Game Changers to be one of the noticeable players.
Yeah, and during that game against UP Diliman, Import was actually one of the players that went even in this lane. Even though top lane and bot lane lost from the side of iAcademy, Import went even, so that's a good sign for them. And maybe iAcademy want to play around that mid lane and try to get Import ahead so that he can carry his team into success.
And talking about players to play around, we do notice a certain trend, especially the fact that teams who sometimes do not pay close attention to it, especially the fact that I can see it for maybe on UPD's game, where if we can recall something about too much focus on the top rather than the bot lane, where we did notice a bit of a hiccup there in the bot lane and so much focus in the top.
Yeah, sometimes teams and junglers in particular decide to tunnel on ganking one lane, but sometimes as a jungler, you really don't have the luxury of going for some other lanes, because I think at some point you have to deem a lane ungankable in a sense where you really just have no options. It's going to be incredibly difficult to actually catch out the members. So maybe this time we can put them on junglers who have quite easier gank paths in a sense.
And we'll see, because when it comes to how the games have been played so far, moving on to our 7th game, I love the fact that when it comes to their conditions, they know a player to centralize on and build a strategy on, so that when it comes to the late game, they won't have that much of a difficult time. One key game that I noticed was one of the Kaiser games. As you said, a hero, a champion that you need to take considerable attention to, because of the fact when it's not banned out, most of the time you'll see it on the blue side.
Yeah, and binanggit mo yung late game, Vulcan, but honestly, after watching the games for today, we haven't gotten to that point where both teams are actually onto the late game. Sometimes a team just smashes mid game, gets ahead at around 20-25 minutes, and then they just run away with the rest of the game. We haven't seen a game last at least 40 minutes for today, so we haven't really seen that late game come to fruition for majority of the games today.
And not to mention, we do see a certain pattern where some teams in the draft, we do see the Kaiser being picked on the blue side, but the red side, they're saying, it's okay, we are willing to trade it off with a Zaya and Rakan combo in the bot lane. The lovers do, but sometimes we don't see that much success.
Yeah.
Last time that happened was that Kaiser got a first blood and an assist, immediately picks up the BF sword.
Yeah, it hasn't worked out. And one more thing that's been the trend for today, usually the team that picks up the Baron first, usually the Kai'Sa team, because Kai'Sa just shreds through Baron. I've been saying it all day. Kai'Sa's actually super broken once you get her onto the Baron. She just shreds that objective extremely quickly. Most teams, especially on blue side, that take Baron usually just end up winning the game.
It fits this current patch because the Baron Nashor itself increased in health, but now we'll see everything once we move on to the drafting phase. This is Game 7 of IAC Game Changers on the blue side versus Bulacan State University, BULSU X on the red side.
Yeah, let's see what these teams decide to ban out from each other. Now, BULSU, please ban Kai'Sa on red side for your last ban.
Let's see.
It's actually the new... Okay, this is...
There we go. It's like it's not a surprise to see an instant lock-in the Kai'Sa, but maybe BULSU, knowing that they have some experience in drafting, they may have just baited out, but IAC, they're feeling something different. We don't feel the Vayne, maybe the Vayne, but suddenly the Kai'Sa has been locked in.
Maybe finally we get to see a team with an actual counter to Kai'Sa. Kasi kanina pa natin nakikita, iniiwan siyang open nitong mga red side team, and none of them have been able to properly counter this pick. So maybe BULSU knows something na hindi natin alam parehas. They have picked the Vayne and the Cho'Gath here. As for iAcademy Game Changers, Shen is the lock-in. I wonder, will they go for a support here? Janna is the hover at the moment.
we can actually expect something surprising from BULSU. This is their debut match, not to mention the first time they're entering the LVL in the second term. So Cho'Gath has been picked up on the red side, and oh boy, no wonder we're seeing some trade. All I can say at this point, Gista, is IAC and BULSU, they're letting the picks be available, and they're just trading things off here. We did see at the last moment in the blue side, they were switching between the Vayne or the Kai'Sa, and BULSU immediately jumping on the Vayne means something here.
Oh, and now BULSU are gonna lock in the Skarner, the first Skarner that we've seen today, and I like this champion a lot, Vulcan. Yung
Skarner bans we're seeing here.
Yeah, and with the Skarner being locked in, I like the fact that BULSU have picked a playmaking jungler. There's a lot of stuff you could do with this champion. The amount of CC you can provide, the amount of engage. Just if you're able to jump on anyone, the rest of BULSU can just immediately follow up. As for Academy Game Changers, they've got a Nocturne and Galio. And we know how this goes. The Nocturne dives in, the Galio with his ultimate straight into the backline. And you pair the Shen on top of that. That's an incredibly hard Nocturne to kill.
What an incredible theme Academy is going for. The Galio come. There are many ways that you can use it. You can
I like it.
You can use it with the Camille and such, but they will just go with the Nocturne, with the Shen. You can see the direction that the Game Changers are going for, while BULSU Gosu X will just go for the more on pickups. I mean, it's about speeding up the Skarner to try and pick up the kill, especially level 6 happening for the Skarner. They have to wait things out. So BULSU, what are your thoughts on their draft?
Yeah, looking at BULSU's draft, definitely if they are able to single out a target, there's a lot of damage, even with tankier targets. Since Bulacan State University have the Cho'Gath, they have that true damage to immediately shred through anyone that the Skarner decides to pull back. So I really like both drafts. I'm particularly excited to see the globals come out from my academy because this combo is just beautiful to watch. A Nocturne diving and straight backline just delivers both the Galio and the Shen.
And the fact that the paranoia is in fact, your vision gets impaired, you're nearsighted, so you don't know what the heck is going on. And while the clash is happening, and yung pala, there's a Shen right beside you. Hello, and you get just
Kaya
shocked.
gusto ko to eh. This is the exciting games to watch and to cast because it can get very chaotic. So you have to be on point for this one, man. These fights are gonna get explosive, especially once they hit level 6.
So we'll be waiting out for the level 6. Now onto the Summoner's Rift to see how the first 7th game will pan out for BULSU versus Academy Game Changers.
Yeah, makikita natin kung successful ba ang LVL debut nitong Bulacan State University as they face off against Academy. Let's hit the rift.
Let's hit the rift here already for Academy Game Changers. They're making their point guard not going for any active invades here as BULSU goes to X. They have a lot to show to us and to the viewers as this is their debut.
Yeah, we have a lot of expectations here coming from Bulacan State University, the North Conference LCL champions. But
shoutouts to Bulacan.
Shoutouts to Bulacan. Shoutouts kay Arctic.
Shoutouts to the North.
Yeah. So, looking back, BULSU did decide to leave open the Kai'Sa, who is so far undefeated today. So that's already a good sign for Academy if you think about it, because if the trend follows, the Kai'Sa means that they might be the victors for this game.
And maybe we can learn something for GSX if they're able to do something about the Kai'Sa being paired up with the Janna. But let's leave it up to the laning phase to further see how things will pan out. But I can say right now, Summoners, guys that are out watching, shoutouts to you guys, and I can expect this will be an exciting game. So share the stream.
Yeah, now looking at where both junglers have decided to start Vulcan, parehas sila nag-start sa bot side of the map because it is a better leash. Having your bot lane there means that you can clear faster, a bit more healthier, and it signals that both of them would be ending towards the top side of the map. So early in the game, expect the action to be up towards the top side.
I mean, in a way, this kind of reminds me of the previous term where the famous Olaf and Skarner trade-offs. But now we know that the Nocturne has been adjusted buff, especially the sustain. So I guess also the fact that for the Game Changers, they want to really go for that Galio comp.
Oh, I'm really excited for level 6, especially for Academy, because we know they're gonna pull the trigger. I don't see a world where they all get their ultimates and they decide just not to use them, because majority of their lineup actually relies heavily on their ultimates. But you can say the same for Bulacan State University. Like, big ultimates such as the Impale can easily lock down a target. The Shockwave, always a game changer, no pun intended. But yeah, like I mentioned, both these teams really just gonna want to hit that level 6, possibly move towards the late game and start looking for fights. But speaking of looking for fights, this is a very early visit towards the bot side. Here we go.
Oh yes, with the E and the passive there, instantly locking down the Janet, giving the first blood. What a play there by BULSU. Goes to X.
What a way to kick off your LVL debut, man. They get 2 kills, a perfectly executed gank. I mean, Arctic's gotta be happy, man.
I just saw him go to the studio cheering. As I gotta say, when it comes to BULSU, we were talking about the fact that we were waiting for the level 6. Nah, they don't care. They're going straight for it. The elements of surprise here, as you saw the fracture landing at the exact moment Skarner went with a flash, pop a basic attack, and gets the stun.
You know, the thing with the fracture, it actually landed to both members of IAC's bot lane. That's why the Skarner was able to stun both of them. And the path he took was very, very interesting. He just cleared this entire blue side jungle, then immediately ran bot side. Earlier, I mentioned that both junglers would want to end towards the top side of the map. Now, he's on the wrong side of the map.
Ooh. Okay, he's gonna get the execute, forced to give away his double buffs.
Did he take any damage though? I think this will be an execute. Yeah, that's the smart choice there by the Nocturne, not giving up any gold and the double buff as well, which could have turned the tide into BULSU's favor even more.
It's actually a very fast recall, if you would say. So for game changers, they would rather trade the execute. Does not want to get the double buff, so let's leave it towards that. Leave it there. But as BULSU, kill score 0-2 this early into the game. And note that the first blood and an assist was given towards the Vayne. Maybe we can see a shift, maybe not. But top lane, what's happening here? As the Shen is dealing so much damage thanks to the Undying grabs, and that will be a decisive cue to try and let the Shen just back off while he just recalls.
Yeah, I mean, this early to the game, the Shen can easily bully the Cho'Gath with his Q, so I don't think Chris would want to take that extended fight. But look at top lane, the Skarner is actually there.
Okay, what's gonna happen here? Because the Skarner, normally we won't see that much of a proactive Skarner at this early, especially level 3. But when you're talking about the Keystone, you can see the Predator being popped here. I mean, that's what I like about Predator. It kind of compensates for Skarner's lack of hard engage. I mean, Predator itself is scary.
I mean, I think Skarner has hard engage, Vulcan. The thing is, it's a question of makakalapit ba siya? He needs to get close. He needs to run at people fast. And looking at the thing we pointed out top lane, Suede actually burned his flash when the Skarner decided to go up there. So that's a big win for Bulacan State University.
And as for the game changers, returning towards the second term of the LVL, starting this game rocky, but I don't think it's over just yet because they're trying their best to hold things off here, waiting for that level 6 that me and Chisa was talking about in this Gallier comp. So we can see in the levels here, approaching level 5 for import. Kyo is level 4, but due to the fact that he did get executed around the top lane side, may buy some time for BULSU to try and control the game, but things do look pretty exciting, Chisto, once it happens.
Yeah, and the thing is, Hio actually just revealed himself on the map. Nakita nilang nakuha yung Spire ni Skarner on their blue side. Alam nila na yung Nocturne lang yung pwedeng kumuha nun. So, BULSU knows that the Nocturne is sitting towards their bot side of the map. That's why they're not hesitating to go for this play onto the flashless Shen. That's a great pickup there. They burned the flash earlier. They go back there, and they're able to pick up a kill. Now, that's a great spot to be in if you're BULSU.
And note that this is, again, we're seeing the first time Yesh playing in the LVL. Playing the LVL as a Skarner. So, already off the bat, we're seeing a kill participation of 100% here. Whenever there's a kill, he is going to be there to get some glory for himself. But in that moment, we're seeing in his blue side, oh, unfortunate that he has lost his blue buff. Did reveal his Spy for vision, and I think he knows where Hio is. Wants to get a revenge, maybe. Can they go for a collapse? I don't think so. They're being pushed back under their tower, and the Infernal Drake, they'll just get vision control.
Yeah, BULSU has to be careful when looking for these bot lane fights because if a fight does break...
Predator popped in here. That's going to be an engage coming from the Skarner. Oh, a quick response coming from Game Changers. They won't repeat the same mistake.
Yeah, not yet level 6 on this corner. No Impale yet to lock anybody down and pull them towards their team. But like I was trying to say earlier, Bulacan State University, kailangan nyo mag-ingat if you want to go for these bot lane plays because the Galio can always affect that. There's double globals on the side of IAC. The Stand United, the Heroes entrance could immediately turn the tides in favor of IAC if BULSU goes over aggressive.
And not just that, for game changers, they are waiting for their ultimates here, all available. And now BULSU, I hope to see some adjustments in their aggression. They now need to respect those ultimates.
Oh, this is hard. I mean, the Kais is getting bullied by the Vayne and Lulu. Ajax bot lane not having the best time in this matchup. So far, it looks like we've found the answer to the Kaiser. Just gank him early.
It's a bit too early to say that because we're seeing a lot of practice coming from the Skarner in the bot. Now in the top, uses the flash in Impale under the tower.
Yeah, Feast is not available on the Cho'Gath, so I wonder if they can actually end up picking up the kill onto the Shen. Shen's fairly squishy this early to the game, so I do believe they can take this down. And I like what BULSU are going for here, attacking the global. They're making the Stand United a non-factor by constantly just attacking the Shen because Shen can't defend himself with that global.
One thing that we do see normally is that when you do have global pressure, especially the fact that you have, so we're back on camera, once we have something such as, I would say, the Gallia's Heroes entrance, not to mention the Skarner's, rather the Shen's global ultimate, the Stand United, you're gonna expect that you may be the ones to intervene and help out the lane, but who is gonna help you?
Yeah, and alam mo, ang talino nung ginagawa ng BULSU na yung ina-atake nga nila ay yung globals ng I Academy dito because, like you mentioned, they can't use Stand United themselves. There's no help. I think they're gonna pick up the kill. Yeah, that's a pretty free kill knowing that the Shen does not have his flash yet. Still 100% kill participation on this Skarner.
Watch out for the Rift. Watch out in the Rift for this Skarner. So fast and, in a way, aggressive. Right now, Jason, I think in his... Paranoia is on there. Can we expect a Galio ultimate coming in? No, the Kai'Sa will re-engage the fight into the Vayne. Low on health. Looks like a late Heroes entrance will come in just for a flashy show.
Yeah, I like that I Academy decided to show that aggression that I needed them to do.
They needed them to.
No, I needed them to show aggression. That's what I said when Arctic asked me about what they need to do if they wanted to win a game here. But they saw the Skarner topside. They knew that there wouldn't be a response by Bulacan State University. They immediately pulled the trigger bot side. They get 1 kill in return, so that's good for I Academy. Now BULSU has a window to play around where the globals are down. Both the Paranoia and the Heroes entrance were burned for that bot lane play. So BULSU, they can choose to counter this by acting within this 1 to 2 minute window where those ultimates are down.
And as for those ultimates, those are hefty timers. So I think for BULSU, you gotta keep track of those ultimates if you want to play aggressive. And as for game changers, they have to realize that once those ultimates are down, they can't go for aggressive engages. With this said, I guess where BULSU goes to X will be happy to take away the first Drake of the game, the Infernal.
Oh, they're definitely happy to take that Infernal Drake, knowing that they have the Vayne, they have the Orianna. More damage is just way better for their lineup now. Impale is up in a few seconds. I do believe Predator is also available.
You know what I like about the Predator Keystone?
What?
It gives you a slight warning, but it doesn't really help because it's too late once you get that warning. And you're talking about a Skarner with the W, getting extra movement speed bonus from his kit. It's just going to be difficult, but I love how despite the fact that, yes, he does see the Janna, he still doesn't care. He knows the Janna has disengaged, but he does play around his flash a lot.
I feel like there should be a proper analogy for the Predator that you were trying to make. I'm just figuring out why. But yeah, looks like it is available. Nocturne is bot lane though. So there might be a counter to what BULSU wants to set up here. It's going to be harder now though since the Janna is level 6. There's a Monsoon and a Howling Gale to knock away the Skarner.
Oh god.
We're going to see a global.
That's going to be another pile up there with the Stand United connecting onto the Nocturne, followed by the Paranoia. Aura closing in with the Kai'Sa there and a flash. Just why not?
Yeah, why not flash right there, Vulcan? But binanggit ba natin na kapag nag-level 6 yung Ayak gagawin na to? I think we did. So That's pretty much the play that you have to make if you have a Nocturne, if you have Shen or a Galio to pile on top of him once he dives in. Even though BULSU were able to take down the enemy bot lane early,
First
the response from IAC was great.
First turret at stake here, and it will go to IAC.
Yeah, they're really trying to shut down this Vayne from doing anything. They don't want Empyrean to get rolling on this pick because Vayne can also be a scary champion towards the late game. And Academy, knowing that they have the Kai'Sa, trying to get her into this game. Ginsu's Rage Blade already competed, whereas Empyrean's still working on finishing his Infinity Edge.
Oh man, he has to weigh things out here. And if I can recall, when this Vayne getting the Infinity Edge, you can expect that when it comes to extended team fights, it's still going to be difficult because we know that Oro has the Ginsu's Rage Blade.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see though, because so far, bot lane has been the primary focus for Academy. Whenever available yung ultimate sila, they just instantly go bot lane. They use the Stand United and the Heroes engines aggressively paired with the Paranoia because the setup is incredibly easy to pull off. It's a very easy dive comp down in bot lane.
It's simple, it's impactful. That's actually something Game Changers are taking right on. And for BULSU, it's getting a bit unpredictable how they may react. So goes to X, they need to be aware.
Oh, Predator!
Predator, he's going for the Janna, but changes his target towards the Kai'Sa. We're seeing the Orianna for Shockwave landing there. Glory coming in, hard heal has been used for the speed up, only good for the Impel. Oh, what a beautiful monsoon to disengage the fight. Teleper coming in, you guys got taunted down. Now it's time for the Game Changers to push them back. A reversal in the clash.
Yeah, the Skarner actually had flashes. So a bit of hesitation means that they aren't able to pick up any kills. Though Academy weren't able to pick up any of their own, BULSU will take down the bot tower to trade from that aggression top lane. Paranoia is available here. There's only 3 members, and there's no way for BULSU's bot lane to get up here. Here we go!
They go straight for the Orianna. Does flash away from the Doctor. Will not get feared down, leaving behind his team. So BULSU will be left to fend under the tower. Looks like it will be Game Changers' mistake to commit too much, but they don't care. They have the Shen plus import again. Another decisive flash to get away from the turret's range. This is Game Changers with so much dance around the turrets. They know the aggression, the aggro, so they will just go straight for it. But I think for the bot lane, for BULSU, goes to X, are willing to trade things off here as we're seeing the bot lane duo pushing straight until the inhibitor turret.
Yeah, a bit of a messy dive there by Academy Game Change. I like the thought because alam nilang hindi makakasunod yung bot lane ng BULSU, so they go for the 3v5. Unfortunately, the Janna was just a bit too squishy and she gets chomped down, meaning that BULSU get to trade 1 for 2 up in the top lane. They also get the tower, the second tier tower down in the bot lane, so the global gold in the end will even out. It's actually BULSU that's ahead a bit of gold here 15 minutes into the game.
But the question is, when it comes to team fights, that's key for Game Changers because of the fact that they have global ults, not to mention the Galio and the Nocturne, plus the disgusting Shen combo is something that... Is there a counterplay to this?
Well, there's a lot of things.
You're kind of helpless once the Nocturne's on you.
Yeah, but if you do survive, Academy has nothing else to throw at you.
Can you survive with all those Titans collapsing on you? Especially, I think, kanina we saw sa top lane, they're focusing on the Orianna.
I think that's the question that we just have to wait and see if it gets answered, Logan, because, like I mentioned, if BULSU are able to survive that initial burst of engage coming from Academy, they can immediately turn this around because Academy won't have anything left to toss at BULSU.
And for BULSU, they do have one tool here, the Lulu, for the Wild Growth. So try and time it correctly, but still be careful because you gotta pay attention towards the Kai'Sa having the Rage Blade, but also for Game Changers, they need to be on alert here because we're seeing another Paranoia around the map.
Oh, there's a lot of members here. There's no getting out of this, man.
Yeah, nothing. No dice there as kind of fortunate at the right time where the Mountain Drake will spawn. He goes down the drain. As for Academy, they will match the Drake count and take away the Mountain Drake. Wait, hold that thought here because we're seeing the Cho'Gath being curious. He does not have the flash, so if things do go wrong for the Cho'Gath, when he does commit, it will be a difficult spot for him to get out. So I think he'll back up there with Game Changers taking away the Mountain Drake.
Look at what Bulacan State University decided to do there, though, Vulcan. They gave up the Mountain Drake. They went for chip damage and the top lane tower as well. They're going for this more global gold oriented. We're trying to get everyone ahead. They actually have taken down more towers compared to iAcademy, despite the amount of kills that... Oh,
That's what you want to be in. The guy is right there. Pushes towards the guy. Oh, what a taunt there over that wall. Juicy.
Oh, man. There's no getting out of that. Wild growth.
What a monsoon.
Both of them had flash.
Yeah, what a monsoon towards the Galio's taunt range. They couldn't even do anything. They were sitting ducks. What a wipe out there in the blue side of Game Changers.
That was really smooth. That was at least 3 to 4 seconds where the bot lane of BULSU could not move at all. It was the monsoon knockback, the Galio taunt, the Shen taunt. There's no getting away from that. But yeah, like we mentioned, if you're able to move past these, that's when BULSU can win these little fights.
What a smooth transition towards that followed up CC. Man, I really wish I could see a replay there, but something that really was satisfying to look at was that moment. Instantly, had no chance to use the summoners, had no chance to use the wild growth.
Yeah, no chance. Right there, like you mentioned, though, the last outer turret here for BULSU to take is in the mid lane. There's already a lot of chip damage onto it, and I think they want to take this final tower so that the map gets opened up even more. Just a few hits away, actually, so BULSU, they're definitely looking at this mid lane tower.
And as for the Vayne, picking up the Infinity Edge and the Zeal, we'll wait what will that be, but most likely it will be a static shift. Normally we would always see Vaynes picking up static shift, rapid fire cannon, and Infinity Edge for the disgusting crit. But now it will be BULSU being a bit careful here because they need to be aware of the Nocturne. I mean, you may have the Lulu, but you gotta be careful there. Ooh, hello.
Oh no.
From connecting. It can happen. Oh! You're not going anywhere, so might as well call in the Galio for some help. Righteous Glory has been popped there on the fight on the red side. 3 members have been knocked into the air, and you can see that the Vayne is over that wall. He is not in this fight while we are waiting for that suspense moment. You can see right now a picture-perfect moment before the clash can resume. Already we're seeing from the map, the Vayne has been isolated, and hello there, guys. And when you're talking about the Game Changers going for the red side fight, that's something that's interesting.
Oh man, that is not the best time to cut away from the game. That is really not the best time, but I think Empyrean actually zoned himself away from the fight by flashing over the Dragon Pit wall.
I mean, he could have free hit in that range.
Oh, here we go.
Surprise there. Nice chrono break there, Prawn. And now we're seeing the Vayne going over that wall. As I said before, the Jogas going for the knockup in the red side. He's tagging. He's healthy. Not for long. Paranoid there. Oh, 2-man Shockwave is there to stop the Kai'Sa and the Janna. We're seeing right now, BULSU goes to X. Going for the pincer. Here it comes. Bring it hard, going for the flash, and there's the silence. And the chase is on. Will it be enough? That's going to be the double kill, going for the Vayne.
Yeah, can they find more here though, BULSU? They were able to reset that fight. The Paranoid, the Globals were a non-factor. They survived the burst of damage that IAC can toss at them. Now, oh, TP's coming in, Vulcan. Can they catch on to this Kai'Sa? I do not think so, but the mid lane tower will definitely go towards BULSU here.
He's just gonna walk. He's gonna waddle around the map itself, as we are seeing for BULSU go to X, just going for the chip damage you said before. Finally taking down that inner mid lane turret.
You know, man, I could feel your suspense when the fight stopped. I could feel like you were building up to it, but just at the worst moment possible. Hopefully that doesn't happen in the future, but man, BULSU turning that fight around. They just had to wait for Empyrean to walk all the way through the far side, and the moment the Vayne arrived to the fight, he shredded everyone who was in front of him.
The last time I felt that much suspense is when I texted my crush my confession. That was way in high school. You don't do that. Texts are weak. That is suspense right there. That's like a mini boss you can expect.
Okay,
yeah, I think everyone can feel it here, and I wonder if that's gonna be BULSU, how they can handle that suspense.
I mean, you talk to me about what I talk about on stream and you decide to bring up your high school crush. Okay, let's go back into the game. iAcademy, they have globals, they have engaged. Now the question is looking for these fights. As for BULSU, avoiding these fights are key. I think you agree when I say that if BULSU are able to avoid these fights from happening, they just win every extended fight just because of their raw DPS.
You can actually play around their ultimates, if you would say. That's something that BULSU has to take account for. But I don't think they have time to pull out their smartphones to start a timer, as we're seeing Paranoia onto who? Everyone's just blind here, as they will just pick up. Okay, it was just the darkness playing in the favor of Game Changers, and immediately just isolating the Skarner. Everyone was confused, and they just topple on the Skarner, as we are seeing right now in the Baron.
Yeah, I actually think that
in the Baron pit. Sorry about that. So we are now live on the Baron pit side. As for Game Changers, I think I dealt more damage. Damage dealt by Vulcan by saying that phrase. I apologize for that.
Ginagalit mo si Commissioner. Wag mo ginagalit si Commissioner. Oh, teleport coming in.
What a way to teleport. Just be that major blockage around the blue side. Ultimate isn't available. Oh no, they used the Paranoia. Monson was there, but I don't care. He does not give up as the Shen uses the blast cone over the wall, gets directly condemned towards it.
Here comes the Baron. BULSU are gonna go for the Baron. They have the Cho'Gath. Even though he doesn't have Feast, they have the Cho'Gath. They have the Smite. There is one way that iAcademy can steal this, but the Nocturne is bot lane. I think iAcademy have given this Baron up. Bulacan State University are gonna pick up the Baron.
Or they, because yeah, I don't think they're gonna go for it. The Kaiser is not interested at all. Let them have it. We'll try to think of something else.
Oh my God, BULSU are showing up for their LVL debut. This is one way you can kick your debut off.
The best way possible, but I think I would be, yeah. A Phantom Downs are being picked up by the Vayne, so try and go for more Kite. I mean, less damage is always welcome. To mention, yeah, especially the Kai'Sa. I mean, ridiculous burst.
That's actually smart by Empyrean. If we're trying to explain why the Vayne went for the Phantom Dancer, alam niya na ang daming magda-dive sa kanya towards the backline. The Nocturne will be there, the Shen will be there, the Galio will be there. Even the Kai'Sa can easily dive once her team engages. So having that bit of damage reduction and a bit more kiting potential with the Phantom Dancer is actually a great pickup for Empyrean, meaning that he has a lot more survivability once these fights do arrive. Now, Ocean Drake has been secured here by BULSU. They have the Baron. They have the numbers. Now they're going to go for the push.
I apologize, Chista, because I'm going to say something else here. One thing that's more suspenseful is when the Crush does reply to your text, your only subs expired.
Get off of that.
It expired at that exact moment. You have no load. It's 11 p.m. You cannot load up to any station, and you wait the next day.
Alam mo, dapat pinapagalitan ka ni Brian dahil dito eh. This is something we do not discuss. This is something we don't talk about.
It hurts.
We should be talking about Blue Buff dying to this Orianna.
I can't help it because that happened to me once. I have to say, I mean, as soon as the clock responded to me, my subs at that moment expired, everyone. Expired.
Tinatawanan ka ni Arctic.
So Vulcan, at that spot, he was thinking, what is he going to do? Are the load stations open? No, it's not. He then goes on Facebook, messages people, do you have load? Papasa ng 5 peso load. That's the moment that you can feel for this team.
Ginagalit mo si Brian. Paglabas natin dito, you're gonna hear a lot from the commissioner. Dude, everyone outside is looking at us and laughing.
It's something that I just have to say because I did brought up the suspense we are seeing all throughout the opening week. And
loloadan lang kita.
Yeah, that's why in a way I got paranoid. So I keep prepaid cards in my drawer so that it does not happen. That's the contingency plan. Right now, Game Changers, they are making the contingency plan to think.
Really? That's how you connect it to the game?
What they can do here while the Baron buff minions are flooding into the base. As far as I can see, Game Changers just doing their best going for the wave clear.
Ganun mo naisipan na i-connect yung kwento mo tungkol sa crush dito sa game. It took you around 2 to 3 sentences of explaining kung bakit ka nawalan ng load. Para lang dalhin yun sa defense ng iAcademy dito.
And at this point, you can picture the load to be the Baron buff. I mean, you're waiting for the right time to expire and then go straight for it. I kind of forced myself.
Oh my God.
Good shape. But now, as the game is progressing, 25 minutes into the game, next Drake is Mountain Drake as Game Changers. Right now, despite having the Baron buff, they couldn't do anything.
Yeah, actually, going back to the relevant part of the game, kahit na may Baron yung Bulacan State University, they aren't able to actually go for a siege because even if they are ahead, it's very hard to take down towers with the Vayne that has short range. No rapid fire built up yet, meaning na yun nga, Empyrean can't necessarily get close to these towers without being in threat of an engage happening from iAcademy. So far, iAcademy have been able to hold out I think the Baron, though, might just be the bridge that Bulacan State University needs to head and scale towards the late game even safer now.
It's quite difficult for them to push without the Baron buff because we're seeing right now the Kai'Sa getting the Hurricane and also the Runan's Hurricane, the Gwyn's Rage Blade. But note that we're seeing a Knight's Vow being picked up, the Skarner, and a Stone Plate. So you can expect that for Chris, he will be the wall to stand between Game Changers and BULSU X.
Yeah, but they can easily bypass that wall if you think about it. I mean, tututok lang nila yung cursor nila sa Vayne, press R everyone, let's just try and kill Vayne. But if they put all the focus onto the Vayne, they're sort of tunneling themselves and they're gonna put themselves in the perfect position to be Orianna ulted. So there's another threat on Bulacan State University's lineup that you really have to watch out for.
And you can also expect that for the Vayne, he knows this, so picks up the QSS so that doesn't get taunted or feared. Always aware what can happen because we're seeing right now two taunts, the Shen, the Galio, a fear. That's going to be more than enough for the Vayne to be chunked down. Very vulnerable to CC, can't always rely on the Nunu, picks up a smart QSS, and now for BULSU X, again, as I said before, it's going to be hard because they have wave clear. Like, just like that with the Runan's Hurricane, this is going to be a spot. They can try and force something, but they do lack the vision information. Even if they do go for a dive, it's still a risky situation.
You know what Bulacan State University might want to do here? They want to engage with the Skarner, try and pull somebody back, at least make it a 4v5 on the map so that it's hard to defend. But it looks like IAC have decided to go for the Cho'Gath.
Going straight for the defense here. Oh, he's alone. They just got the smallest hits. And seeing how the Cho'Gath, well, a lot of resources being burnt there. We saw the Paranoia, the ultimate from the Kai'Sa plus the Monsoon. Any pickup is key here for the Game Changers as we're seeing the Baron buff will spawn in 1 minute and 24 seconds while the the Mountain Drake will be spawning in 1 minute and 7. So Chisto, we saw before, why do you think they just go straight for the Cho'Gath?
It's actually smart there because they had to do something. They had to at least pick something up because BULSU were just standing right in their faces. They know they have enough damage to shred through this Cho'Gath because they have the Kai'Sa. They have all the follow-up in the world if somebody decides to go for a fight. So that's good that Academy were at least able to get something. And also, their base was not exposed yet.
Yes, and not just that. It will really be a difficult spot for... will be a really difficult spot for Cho'Gath because of the Kai'Sa. I think for BULSU, they're trying to close in the game here.
I wonder though, Baron is spawning very, very soon, and I think that might be the next objective. I think definitely that's the next objective that both these teams will be fighting for. Makukuha kaya ng BULSU yung load nila?
That's right.
That's right.
They don't need Facebook message here to just ask for their friends. They have their prepaid cards ready. It's gonna spawn in 19 seconds. While IAC, they want to stop BULSU for conveying their feelings towards their crush. They don't want them to get that load. What? The Baron buff, as you said before, Chisto, is now live in 6 seconds.
Wait, so sino yung crush ng BULSU?
I don't know. The victory itself. Yung panalo, yung opening ng LVL.
Oh, yeah. Here we go!
That's juicy, that's spicy. Look at the collapse. Oh, max range taunt pops that stays. It just denies that engage. They can go for a counter at this point. Pops the glory. The Shen's alone. Flash in and pale. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, this will definitely mean the Baron, the globals are down. There is nothing Academy can do here. There's the feast on the Cho'Gath. There's the Vayne for true damage. Bulacan State University are definitely going to secure this Baron.
A heavy timer on the globals, plus the Paranoia is down. If they had those globals up, possibly they could have taken at least the initiative to go for a contest, but it's quite difficult. They're willing to trade it up with a second stack in the Mountain Drake.
Yeah, but has the damage been done, Vulcan? Nakuha na ng Bulacan State University yung load nila ngayon. Kailangan na lang nila mag-confess. Kailangan nilang ituloy yung conversation.
They have to try and answer it out. And not to mention, time won't wait for them here because the Baron empowered minions are now flooding into the turret.
Oh, have they got a catch on Hio here?
Look at the damage. Look at the crit. Look at that block up from the Jana. As Skarner gets slowed there. Calls in the teleport. Sobrang sakto sa cannon minions so that they can buy more time as the minions will just collapse on the inhibitor turret.
Will this be the push that means Bulacan State University makes a successful LVL debut.
Stan United is still on cooldown, same with the entrance. Heavy cooldowns there. And as for BULSU,
That's a massive wave.
Gotta crash in hard.
Yeah, now, will this be the push? iAcademy, if you want to be spoilers to BULSU's party, you have to do something. Kailangan mag-engage. Kailangan pigilan nyo itong Bulacan State University.
Okay, they're not going for it just yet. I'm looking at the Nocturne. I think we should all look at the Nocturne here because
Righteous Glory.
it's gonna be the one to set things off here. Import, goes for a taunt. Okay, I can see Hio. He's he's eyeing the Vayne or the Orianna. But when they collapse there, as you said, Chisa, they are at risk of getting a 4-man shockwave from the Orianna.
Yeah, Bulacan State University are going to do this by the book. We take mid lane inhibitor, we take top lane inhibitor. The last inhibitor standing is down here in the bot lane. Now they're asking questions of iAcademy. Aya, kaya nyo bang i-defend to? Kaya nyo ba kami? BULSU pushing in hard. Here we go!
There's entrance coming in. Oh, Lulu low close on health. That's going to be the Heroes entrance knockout. Remember, on to yet. They've survived. This will be the moment for BULSU X to push in the waves, push in the lane, and take down the turret. As now they're focusing onto the Kai'Sa. One more hit. He regenerates. He gets the shit. Oh, point blank gets shot down in front of the Vayne.
Yeah, and that will definitely mean the game here. Bulacan State University will have the best debut they could possibly hope for in the second term of the LVL. They're going to take away a game from iAcademy Game Changers.
We'll see if this will carry over to our next game, the 8th game, where iAcademy will be ending their opening week here, and as for BULSU, will resume against MCL.
Yeah, congratulations to Bulacan State University BULSU X on a successful debut in the LVL. Great game as well. It looks like finally we found a sort of answer to the Kai'Sa just gank her level 3 and she doesn't get ahead in lane. So the early game really was dictated by BULSU's jungler, the Skarner, doing so much work for them. And even though a lot of focus was set towards the bot side, we saw the globals take into effect. It's a very effective combo. You saw how Empyrean really didn't have a way to escape, but BULSU were able to weather the storm. They were able to hit that late game. 2 Baron buffs, they end the game. They pick up a win, and a very great win at that.
And some of the games, the parts of the games that I really loved was the blue side. Fine, but not to mention the Skarner, a very early gank, an exact time, some exacto yung flash, getting that stun and getting the first blood. That started everything.
Yeah, and I think once they pulled off that gank, they really told themselves, kailangan manalo na tayo dito. We got that lead, and they just never looked back. So hopefully Bulacan State University can bring this momentum into the last game for today, which is between them and MCL. But talking about iAcademy now, unfortunately, I think they need to rethink how they're going to approach week 2, because they're going to end today without any victories, and they want to really sort of separate themselves from being from the bottom half of the LVL team. So looking forward to how iAcademy will perform in next week.
Everything can be a fresh start, refresh themselves as week 2 will be their saving grace. But for now, we'll be signing off for our 7th game here with Bulacan State University taking a win. Congratulations again. This is me, Vulcan, and Chista signing off here. Coming up next would be BULSU versus MCL. Orianna does flash away from the Doctor, will not get feared down, leaving behind his team. So BULSU will be left to fend under the tower. Looks like it'll be Game Changer's mistake to commit too much, but they don't care. They have the shit, plus import again. Hit in that range.
Oh, here we go.
Surprise there. Nice chrono break there, Prawn. And now we're seeing the Vayne going over that wall. As I said before, the Cho'Gath going for the knockup in the red side. He's tagging. He's healthy. Not for long. Paranoid there. Oh! 2-man shockwave is there to stop the Kai'Sa and the Janna. We're seeing right now. BULSU goes to X. Going for the piston. Here it comes. Bring it hard. Going for the flash. And there's the silence. And the chase is on. Will it be enough? That's going to be the double kill.
Here we go.
There's entrance coming in. Oh, Lulu low close on health. That's going to be the Heroes entrance knockout. Remember, on to yet. They've survived. This will be the moment for BULSU X to push in the wave, push in the lane, and take down the turret. As now they're focusing onto the Kai'Sa. One more hit. He regenerates. He gets the shit. Oh, point blank gets shot down in front of the Vayne.
Yeah, and that will definitely mean the game here. Bulacan State University will have the best debut they could possibly hope for in the second term of the LVL. They're going to take away a game from iAcademy Game Changers.
We'll see if this will carry over to our next game, the 8th game, where I Academy will be ending their